I hope so. I want a season 2.
मुझसे नहीं हो पाएगा.
Keep a fan by the television when you're watching the show.
I did not make out with a lot of people.
मूत्र विसर्जन नहीं करती. मैंने संभोग कर लिया.
So some sort of censorship. So I'm out. That's it. I'm done in India.
Give me the spot and then hit on me.
You know what? Just take my spot.
If anyone believes this, that would be amazing. We need eyeballs.
Shut up. So,
I want to get something out of the way right at the start. The trailer had a little Mrs. Marvelous vibe going on. Did you guys expect that there would be some comparisons?
I mean, I think because it's about the stand-up comedy, or at least it feels like it's about the stand-up comedy world, and there's a female. And I think anytime a female, anytime a second female does the same thing as someone, like the world just can't believe it. But I don't think there's any actual comparisons to be made to the show. The show is really about, a girl, making, or a woman, making a really big change in her life and how she reconciles it, her new life with, her old life and her relationships. I mean, if it does end up being compared to Miss Maisel, I think that'd be amazing because that show won a lot of awards. But, it really has nothing in common.
Swara, did you see, after you watched the trailer, did you feel like people are going to compare or something?
The thing is that I'm a bit of a space cadet and I have, not seen Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and I'm sorry about that. And the second thing is that I don't know, I was just zoning the first day when it came out because I was just so excited that it was coming out and it's being announced finally. And for 1 year, I have not been able to talk about the fact that I have a show on Netflix. I think that if it helps people watch the show, even if they just want to judge it, that's also cool because they're going to watch the show. It's great that a lot of female forward content is being created on all these OTTs. I think it's high time, and I think that we could, I don't think we should be so surprised by it that now we feel that everything that is female forward is the same as the other thing that was female forward. It's all right. I mean, nobody ever said about Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara ki ye to dil chahta hi hai.
So after I saw the first couple of episodes, I realized what Ravi said, that it's not just a show about stand-up comedy. It's more than that. It's about her world changing and everything. But in the trailer, we see Varun and we see Dolly Singh and we see you guys. So we are expecting a lot of comedy. What do you think the audience should come in expecting?
It's a TV show. I hope people smile. I think they're going to be really surprised by the performances. I think all the actors in the show are just great. And we had a lot of fun making the show. And usually when you have fun making a show, I can tell you from experience, that usually translates on camera.
I think that people should come to the show expecting a very, heartwarming experience. I think there is a lot of dark, depressing, crappy reality out there in the world. We could all use 3 hours where we just forget about how shitty reality is and actually have some hope. I think that the nicest thing about Bhaag Beanie Bhaag is that there's so much hope in even all the mess that is going on. And I think that they're great performances. I think that it's a very well made show. There's great direction, great performances. It's shot very well. The art is lovely. The writing is really light and frothy and fun. And I think that there is just something. I think that everyone who watches it will find a little bit of themselves in it because there's really a very universal quality about the story.
Ravi, this is your first big foray into Indian content. What made you take this up? How did you get associated with it?
One of my best friends, a guy, Neil Shah, we co-created the show. We both live in LA together, and we wanted to make a show in India. I mean, that's, as Indians who grew up in America, to make something in India was a dream come true. And we were specifically attracted to the stand-up comedy scene in India because it's the fastest growing comedy scene in the world. I went to India my whole life, every couple of years. But, look, I'm Gujarati. I went to Gujarat. I went to villages or maybe Ahmedabad or Baroda, but like, I didn't really spend time in Bombay. And now to be like in the entertainment industry there, we were staying at the Soho House. It's like this other level of India that I didn't even know existed, and it was so fun. And I met so many interesting people, and I made all these friends.
Because you've been here so many times and a show set in India in the stand-up comedy world, you must also know that comedy is a really sensitive subject in India in a lot of cases, because just in the political spectrum of things and how people interpret different jokes in different societies. So you thought that could be a risk?
I'm not the kind of person who cares much about that, but I'm well aware that it is controversial at times in India. But I also think that's inherent to the art form. Stand-up comedians are, I think, the closest thing we have to kind of modern day philosophers. They're there specifically not just to interpret the status quo, but to challenge them. The best comedy is just truth, right? Wrapped in the form of a laugh. So, you know, if comedians aren't doing anything that is controversial, then they're probably not doing it well.
Recently, all the OTT platforms have come under the umbrella of INB ministry. You have been an active part of web shows like a lot this year and in the past as well. Do you think that would change things somehow?
I think that the reason that the OTT space in India has created so much interesting content over the last couple of years is because it has had more freedom than cinema and television, because it is bound by less laws and rules and need for permissions and censorship and so on. And I think that if we are interested in creating good content, which I think is important for any thriving society and thriving democracy, then I think that freedom of expression for art and for content should be preserved. And I'm very hopeful that I hope that the government understands that.
Okay, so we see Beanie struggling to be a stand-up comic here. Do you think she has it in her to be a successful comic in the future?
Both Beanie and Swara could be a successful stand-up comic, in my opinion.
Yeah, Swara, you've had excellent comic timing since Ranjana, I believe, because your one-liners have always been great. So when you were taking up this role of this comic who bombs a lot, what were you thinking?
Look, I just have to say that the reason that my comic timing is great and the one-liners are great is because there's somebody else writing dialogues. I think the thing with comedy is that, you're writing your own stuff, right? And I think that is the most impressive part about the work that stand-up comics do. And I was terrified of the comedy sets. It was very scary, but it happened. Let's put it like this. It happened, and with a lot of help from my friends, people who were on set, my colleagues on the show, the directors, writers. And also, I just want to say that I was very shamelessly opportunistic. I was just deliberately befriending comics as much as I could. I was like calling up people and being, hey, you want to catch up? And everyone was like, they were all nice and great fun, far more fun than I was. So it was nice.